it was not just about beautifying things on the homepage, but it was basically getting impact for the business. What's happening at Zepto today, and especially with my design team, is that they literally sit next to someone from the analytics team or someone from the data science team, and they're trying to understand what's really happening. You know what? Imagine a future in which you can just write a prompt on an AI tool and it just ships a flow for you. That can only be possible if you have your design system in place. So I think we are not very far from that future.
Akhil Joy heads product design at Zepto, one of India's fastest scaling unicorns. He previously shaped experiences at Swiggy and Uber, and today he's known for building high-velocity design teams that don't just ship fast, but they ship with taste. Akhil brings clarity to chaos and has a sharp lens on how design builds trust, shapes behavior, and drives product growth. With that, Akhil, welcome to Behind the Screens Season 2, and I'm so glad that you're here today.
I'm really glad I'm here. Really glad.
So to start it off, I would like to ask you your first question. So Zepto scaled like a startup and operates at a high pace.
Yeah.
How do you go ahead and protect creativity in an environment that fast?
Yeah, I think, when I joined the team first, there were just two interns and maybe another designer who were trying to, just work their asses off. And they were doing the maximum of their capacity. But when I came and I just said that, hey guys, let's have some fun. Let's make some really cool stuff. And then we began that journey of really kind of having that creative ownership. And what happened there is that we began this entire exercise of finding out what is the right visuals, what is the right approach in terms of communicating with the users, really caring about what are the things that they will value, what are the things that they will connect with. And so this entire quest began. Few weeks into the exercise, we started getting numbers. And that was our ticket to the table. Right? That's why we got the seat at the table, because it was not just about beautifying things on the homepage, but it was basically getting impact for the business. And that got us a seat very, very quickly. And that entire process that led us there was basically these folks really sitting down and understanding what these users will connect with. And that mattered a lot because, we ship things very, very fast, and you usually don't get time to do a lot of polishing, lot of craft. But these people really, the team back in the office at Zepto, they really work hard to get those insights, build the things that they have a conviction that will actually connect with the users. And that really got us that love initially from users. It was also going around on the internet that, something is happening at Zepto, right?
Yeah.
So I think that got us a seat. And so that creativity, that process really of building that connection with the user, with visuals, with communication, that had to be protected. And I think because we got a seat at the table, we got a lot of leverage from the leadership that, okay, guys, just go ahead and do what you guys want to do because you're doing it well. It's making an impact, So I think we were grateful to kind of have that opportunity to kind of do that work at the time. I think there are other aspects of creativity which don't really come under very quick business impact. It could have a latent effect, but it may not have very quick results as something on the homepage, right? So for example, design systems or something that we're building as a plugin on Figma, right? So those projects never get impact as in OPDs. Like you can't get the orders to move up because of those things immediately. I think those are the trickier ones to protect, because it's easy to kind of get questioned, okay, what is the value of this, right? So I think that is where more of the partnership building, advocacy, all of that comes in, because you have to build these partnerships with your stakeholders, your engineering managers, your product managers, your leadership, analytical managers, to just help them believe that, okay, what we're doing today is actually going to impact a lot of things tomorrow. So I think that takes a lot of work in terms of advocacy. That doesn't translate directly into impact as in business,
Yeah.
but it's very important for us. And so I think the harder part is to protect that. And so that takes a lot of groundwork to actually build those partnerships with people.
Yeah, that's absolutely very interesting because, I mean, you had to work through validating, not just through an impact metric, but validating through actual customers and an actual concept going live. And seeing that come through must have been like an insane experience. I mean, I still remember I was in Bangalore, when Zepto was starting up, and I saw a billboard that says, can you imagine getting your groceries in 10 minutes?
Yeah.
And I remember everyone having that conversation that, can you really get them in 10 minutes?
Yeah, it's
And now I can't imagine life without 10 minutes of my groceries or any of my things getting delivered. So that's an insane achievement. So which leads to my next question. What your product is delivering, which is groceries in 10 minutes, what's a deeper emotion you think users are really buying?
Yeah. I know it's really funny. I think what you said initially, that when you saw that poster or that hoarding which said that groceries in 10 minutes, people don't believe. So I was in the US for the last 2 weeks, and I was meeting other designers there, connecting with people and understanding what they're working on. And I was proudly showing Zepto app because I was telling them what I do, what I work on, and I was showing Zepto app and I was saying that, hey, we deliver everything in 10 minutes, and they were like in shock, same as the expression that you showed, like that, okay, how can you do that? Like, how can you even possibly deliver anything in 10 minutes, let alone groceries, right? So that was something. And so that made me kind of realize the other part of it, right? That we are at the center of this innovation that is happening in India. I don't know it's happening at this scale anywhere else in the world. And so we have this responsibility with us to kind of really take it forward, really, do justice to the users, because they are relying on us to kind of deliver their essentials. And so we have to actually do that justice. So it's on our shoulders to kind of make it really happen. And it kind of, I feel grateful that, I am at the center of this innovation. I'm part of this change that is happening in consumer trends, right? So the emotion that comes in is basically, I feel, is the reliability, is that Zepto is the partner. Zepto is my last minute partner for anything, be it a parent who's trying to, salvage their dinner 8 p.m. in the night and they need something from the store, Zepto hai. Like Zepto is there to kind of get you that in 10 minutes or lesser. You're a student who are trying to prepare for tomorrow's exam and there is some supply crunches you have. So Zepto is there to deliver things to you. So that entire experience of the user relying on us for that unparalleled convenience. That's what I think I love that word, unparalleled convenience, because that's what we're trying to build, right? I mean, it's not just about groceries or stationeries or makeup. We can now deliver iPhones in 10.
Yeah.
Right? It's crazy. Like if you break your phone or something like that, you can actually order it like right now and come in 10 minutes, right? So
yeah, it's like I can't even make a decision to buy one in 10 minutes, but I can get an iPhone in 10 minutes.
You actually do that today. So I think it's on our shoulder to build this entire product and really serve that customer, because the expectation is getting higher and higher. So this reliance on us of delivering things under 10 minutes and delivering everything under 10 minutes, it just continue to increase. And that emotion, we have to continue to win the customer's trust. And I think that is where I feel the emotion is really like Zepto is there for you.
Yeah.
Like Zepto is available, it's there for you no matter what, it's going to get delivered.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm so grateful for that commitment, because I'm one of those people at 3 a.m. in the night wondering that if anybody had to deliver something to me, I know that I can Zepto it.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, we recently opened like 24 hours deliveries in many stores. Right?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Which is like so much more than just the 10-minute thing. Like it just goes beyond knowing that you're actually backed by the company for whatever you're going through, and that it's just there for you.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So, which actually, I really wonder how, because you worked in, like you're right now at Zepto, and then you were at Swiggy and you were there previously, and you've been in that fast-paced environment, previously. What's one design practice, like one design best practice that you've had to unlearn at Zepto because the business needed the opposite?
Yeah, this is a tricky one because this also is the biggest change that I had to go through in my own work style, because the conventional thing is to actually crack something, let it live there for some time, let people get used to it, and let people get adapted to it, and let them continue to use that shopping journey. But at Zepto, I think it's all about constantly innovating. It's never a constraint for us that we have to remain in the same system or same the way that we are the way users are shopping today, because Zepto is evolving, right? It's not just about like your veggies or your leafies or your essentials at home. It's about, as I said, makeups and electronics and so many more things. And so the entire store experience is just evolving on a daily basis, and it's very important for us to innovate very, very fast. So I think, like you were saying, high pace designs, right? So I think it's like super fast delivery of designs, constant ideation, constant innovation. I think that is and it's not just because business is asking something to do us. It's also because we also want users to have the best experience. As a store evolves, it's our responsibility to kind of ensure that the users are able to see and discover the products that we're able to offer to them. It's just because there's a shift in perception that, okay, it's today, let's go and order milk at Zepto. It's not about that anymore. So we have to also change that perception. So it's not just about business, but we also want users to actually start discovering these products, these features, and these everything that we're offering on the platform. So it's our actual responsibility to continuously evolve. So I think that has changed for me completely, because I used to believe in, okay, let people settle down, but here we are like, we are pretty much, throwing things at people that they are actually catching on to.
Yeah.
And it's crazy to see the results. Like they're really, really picking it up. There's an uptick on everything. So I'm super glad.
Yeah, so I mean, I guess the one thing that you actually had to unlearn, which I totally didn't expect that you would say that, is to not be all the way patient, but to keep trying different things and seeing like,
Yeah.
and it's all of it is sticking and all of it is exciting and setting benchmarks and standards for, I guess, how all other products are also thinking and, delivering. So,
Yeah.
Rose to you.
Journey.
Okay. If Zepto banned user research,
Yeah.
okay, for a quarter, how would you still stay close to what people need?
Yeah, I think it's a tough one, because we do love going on the ground and really talking to people, and so this is a tough one. So what's happening at Zepto today, and especially with my design team, is that they literally sit next to someone from the analytics team or someone from the data science team, and they're trying to understand what's really happening. Where is their experiments going? Where is this project that they shipped yesterday going? How is it doing for the users? And so I think that curiosity that we have already, and the kind of relationship we have already with our folks in the analytics team and data science team, is already helping us kind of understand where the pain is really for the users, right? I think that's one part that I will leverage. Another could be possibly looking at just support tickets, right? Because they tell you a lot, right? People who have real problems come to you with a valid support ticket, so you can actually just run through all of them through a GPT layer and figure out where to focus next, right? So I think those could be two things, and there are other things could be like order ratings or SKU ratings and how people write reviews for each product. Those could be lesser but still useful. But I think the first two will be the most useful to get to the insights quickly and really have something actionable.
Yeah. Talking about user, that's actually great, because I think if you're really like upset about something or mad about something, you would want to go and write about it, to a quick commerce application,
Yeah.
compared to something that takes you 7 to 10 days to get delivered, and you're like, fine, I'll live with this somehow.
Yeah. People are very reactive. They want to really express themselves. So we are in luck, actually. It'll be probably harder for I don't know if it's true or not, but it'll be probably harder for a SaaS product to get the insights that we are getting on an hourly, second by basis, So it's and sitting on a lot of insights.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Have you actually built any feature, or have you got inspired by the kind of, reviews that people give you on Zepto, where you felt like, maybe this is a problem that we didn't really see or thought that we need to solve for, but through this error or that we made, or maybe we discovered something and let's add that in. Like, have you had a moment like that at Zepto?
I think it's always been a long list of features that we always want to push through. It kind of slides in between the priority and deprioritize, prioritize kind of lens. But we have a lot of features in our pockets that we really want to ship. It comes down to like, how do we prioritize it, not prioritize it. But yeah, I mean, one of the things that we discovered while doing research was around how people feel about incentives, and especially in the delivery executives who get these incentives on a weekly basis, daily basis, etc. So there we were able to make a lot of changes so that they began to understand it better. It's easier for them to comprehend, understand it better, and then overall satisfaction with Zepto as a partner of employment is like turning out to be good. So I think that is one area we felt immediate impact.
Yeah.
But of course, yeah, there are a lot of things that we want to do. I'm sure it's going to come in soon.
It's always competing with your user. You're just before you think about it, I'm going to think about it.
Yeah, there's a lot of things you want to do. Really, it's just we're not even halfway there.
That's amazing. All right, guys. So one good news is that we finally got the bonfire going. It's about 1 a.m. in the night and it's been raining, and we're very lucky to have this on. So let's make this more interesting now. So, Akhil, we're going to dive into leadership and lessons, and we want to know more about that from your end and your thought process. So let's imagine that you're in a room with a CEO, product and ops team, and they all disagree with your design call. Yeah. What do you do?
Yeah, I think this is the hardest, but on a daily basis can happen with any leader very, very frequently. So I think my take is this. I think just read the room, like understand where are they coming from, what is it that they're really trying to say. Is it because it's not giving you an ROI, or is it because it's a feasibility issue, or maybe something else? But I think what really is important for leader is to actually take a step back, not take it personally, take a step back and see what real feedback is coming from, and maybe go back and then understand and strategize around a solution, right? For example, one of the things I still remember when I was building Insanely Good is that I had made this beautiful presentation about how we will do creatives, how we will do merch, how will people interact with the store and everything. And we were trying to set up that entire language. And while I was presenting it to the leadership as in a similar example, everyone liked it. And they were like, yo, this is not feasible. We can't do this. We don't have people who can actually make these animations and motions and bring about these so many different kinds of patterns. And so they were like a little apprehensive, and I didn't have an answer then. I had to really go back, understand, can this really be feasible? So what I did is I time boxed an exercise. I actually created a couple of sets of these creatives in my own self, right? I did motion, I did visual design, I did everything, and I said that, hey guys, we're here for another meeting, and I showed them this, and I said, if I can do it, anyone can do this. So that's how we ended up kind of establishing a creative team for Insanely Good at the time, right? So that change that happened in that room, because everyone saw that it is possible, because I was able to show a prototype, because I was able to show an artifact that, okay, if we can do this in this much time, because we had a meeting yesterday, now we have a couple of sets, that tells us this is possible, right? That's a very quick check that, okay, this is actually possible. If Akhil is doing it, then we can do it with a scale team. So then we started hiring, we have established a team. So it's a change that you have to bring about by taking a step back, understanding the feedback, and you also have to choose your battles. You can't like really, I think it's also about how strongly you believe in this idea that you have. Are you really close to it, or are there other battles that you're battling on the sides? And so I think it's some of those things. I think that time, this was very important to me. I wanted to ensure that the vision that I had for the app is translated also in a creative way. So at the time, it was very important for me to kind of make sure that this goes as is, because, like imagine a grocery app with just statics and like pictures from, pictures with white backgrounds. I said that can't happen here. Oh, this is different. This is insanely good. So we have to make sure people feel the freshness. So it's also important that all of this aligns with the vision that the company is setting. So if everything falls in place, I think you can actually win those battles. Yeah, but choose your battles.
Yeah, absolutely well said. I think as designers, we all need to understand that we can't fight everything and that we have to pick what's worth our energy and what's not worth our energy, and not exactly what's not worth our energy, but what we need to understand more and learn from more.
Yeah, and what is
So-
important right now.
Yeah, exactly. What is important right now?
It's true. Yeah.
Okay. What is one decision you made as a leader that hurt in the short term but paid off massively later?
Yeah. I think I'm somewhere in the process of this, and so I think I'm still in the position to share this with you guys. But we grew very, very fast at Zepto, and so design team grew very fast. All the designs that we have today, the app that you look at today, all of that happened like at lightning speed. And what ended up happening is that a lot of these designs started to look inconsistent. So as the app kind of grew larger and larger, the gaps started to become more and more visible. And so, then we kind of sat down to figure it out, that how do we kind of solve this situation, because we are growing and we don't want people to have a very inconsistent experience. And so this is actually something WIP, but what we're building now is that we're taking out time from design, from engineering, and trying to make everything tokenized, everything a component that is a shared library between design and engineering, so that everything that goes live on the app is tokenized, systemized, and that just brings in the consistency on its own. Right? So that is a little bit of hit we're taking today. We may be shipping things maybe a day later or 2 days later just to build those components and tokenization. But you know what, imagine a future in which you can just write a prompt on an AI tool and it just ships a flow for you. That can only be possible if you have your design system in place, if you have your tokens in place, because the AI starts to need understanding your patterns, and that's how it'll create new patterns for you. I think imagine, like a product manager is sitting and writing a prompt and there's an entire design that is being shipped, right? So I think we are not very far from that future. And so today we are taking the hit on maybe shipping things 1 or 2 days late, but that's going to give us multifold output tomorrow for sure. I'm very confident about that.
Wow. So, I mean, there's so many hard decisions that you have to make as a leader, and so many interesting ones, like using AI and very, combining the way design and tech can work together to actually make decision making and customer experience better. Which leads me to a very interesting question. What's an unpopular team rule you stand by, even if people hate it at first?
I think this one's more of a failure of mine, I think, which I did as I came in. I think I thought that everyone should learn new things and everyone should, get new skills and update themselves, etc., etc. And I was somehow I said that let's do design practice, and I said, okay, everyone once a week, post something on a Slack channel. I think it never took off because that's not how people work. That's not how people learn. I think what I've seen on the other side of how people are actually learning new skills is that they get inspired by other folks who are doing incredible work, and they just want to get to do it then. And then they take out their own time, they take out their own, they block time and they sit together and they learn and they teach each other. And I think that's really worked out because no one had to go and tell them that. Right? It was just inspiration that they're getting from other people, it's just channeling energy. And that made it happen. And now, organically, at least folks in my team who are visual designers are also motion designers. They can do also AI, they can do motion. So they're like just upgrading their skills every day. I mean, that's super inspiring. I was like, okay, I was wrong. these guys are doing it better. So, and I was able to see it in the results, not like them playing around with something, but I was actually able to see it in the output that we're delivering. Like, I think that was a testament to the kind of learning that was happening within the team. So I was like super impressed by that.
So, it's interesting that you said that because what I really understand is that if you push designers to do something that they totally don't want to do, they will never end up doing it. But you found some way to inspire them in order to make their own creations and creativity, which led to so much more genuine work. I'm sure that's something that must have led to so many different ideas, concepts, and innovations at Zepto, right?
Yeah, I think just to share an insight, right? I mean, if you look at the team is maybe 7-8 months old. I joined about 1.5 years back. So the entire team maybe 7-8 months year old average, right? So, but all of them have seen this incredible growth. And that is inspiring because, whenever something goes out, we celebrate it. Even if it's a small thing, we celebrate. We say, oh, wow, like this is crazy, like when we have something good, we say that, oh, wow, let's celebrate this, So that actually then sets a bar for people around them, and then they pick up things, and that's like the entire journey is also because of the recognition that they get and the kind of growth that they're getting. It's that's also another aspect of it. I feel that is contributing to organic learnings, within the team. So I wish.
That makes me very curious about your celebrations, which sort of makes me think that if we followed you for a week, what would surprise us the most about how you lead?
Yeah, I think I don't really surprise anyone, but I feel that one of the things I do a lot around the office is just spending time with my team, the culture, doing cross-functional design reviews and making sure that people in both all the pods have context of what's happening, ensuring that like we celebrate each and every win, because that's important for us. That keeps the energy high, even if it's like some love that we get on the internet about some beautiful landing page that we made. We go out all out and celebrate. We say that, oh wow, guys, amazing work, and we post it and we say congratulations and everything. I think that keeps up the energy. So you'll see me leading a lot of those things that I'll go over on Instagram or LinkedIn and like post about it, shout about it. I think I'll see a lot of that because I feel that energy has to kind of keep going on. That represents a lot about Zepto. That sets a lot of tone for Zepto. I think the rest of the company teams would, the teams and other teams would actually draw a lot of energy from design because it's all about ideation. It's all about bringing new ideas. So it's also important to keep the energy on the design team high. So you'll see me a lot doing that. The other thing I like to spend my time on is just, as I shared, that making those partnerships with senior stakeholders, because I want to make sure that some of my interests are taken care of. So I have certain interests in the company around design systems and consistency and all those things. And it's important for me to kind of continue to leverage my stakeholders to make sure that it's happening in the right pace. So I think you'll see me doing a lot of check-ins with senior stakeholders, other peers around, hey, where are we with this? I think you'll see me doing a lot of that. I think pretty much that. I think the last and the most fun thing about all of this is when I sit down with my team and we talk about, okay, how do we make this all into one picture? I think that is a framework level discussion we keep having. When I go into office, I make sure that I have a few folks that I know that I need to get them together and make a framework that will set the tone of the next thing that we're doing at Zepto, right? I think so. That is another very, very big thing that we're doing today. I think, again, WIP, but we're making sure that it's consistent, it's fresh, it's new, and it all looks and feels the same and looks like Zepto. So I think that's what we're doing. So that takes a lot of my time. That okay, how do we kind of create a framework around some of these things so any designer who comes in can just start using it. So I think that's the objective. So we're working on that.
All right. So I want to change it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Earlier, when we were talking about that, if you didn't have research, how would you go about knowing what your user would want? And one of the answers that you gave us was that you would talk to the analytics team.
Yeah.
So that leads me to asking you, which business metric should designers pay real attention to?
Yeah. So I think somehow, like for me, this doesn't come down to one business metrics, because then you lose the entire picture. I feel if you're just chasing one business metrics, you might end up losing the entire picture. So typically, what I encourage people to do is that whatever project that you're working on, it's not going to be like you do this project and then you're jumping another project and you don't have any context for the last project that you did. It's never going to be like that. It's going to be an iterative journey of you doing one version and then doing version 2 and then doing version 3 and so on. So just an example, like when we did Pass for the first time, the membership program, the first version that came out was just a very basic version. And in the following sessions, so we made sure that all the all the flows that we wanted to take live did not go live. All of those kind of kept going in. So the designers working on Pass have to have deep understanding of what are the business metrics for Pass, be it user retention, be it anything else that is important for their field. And similarly, someone who's working on last mile has to understand what is important from a last mile perspective. So it's not one common business metrics that will work all across, but for every team or every pod or every segment of the work that is getting done, it is a long-term journey. And I think it's important for designers to really get on to understanding metrics. And I think the best way to leverage that is in your narrative, right? Because you have so much context working on. For example, you're a designer working on the last mile, the delivery executive app. So you have so much ground context. You have so much insights around how people feel about incentives, how people feel about slots and different things. And so it's important for you to leverage those metrics. And when you present your next design, you're not just presenting a design, you're also presenting what could be the potential impact, what are we trying to move here, how will this connect with the user. So you're doing so much more than just understanding ये metrics खिला क्या नहीं खिला. It's so much more. You can start leveraging as a designer metrics into your narrative, and that creates a better story. Because somehow I feel that clicks with a lot of leadership. Maybe design as such in the raw form will not click with the design with leadership, but if you tell a story which covers the user, the metrics, and all that stitched journey, I think things are to move. And I think that anyone who leverages metrics will succeed faster in their career, opposed to anyone who's not like really into it. I mean, everyone has their own journey, but especially coming down to product design, any e-commerce company or any company that is like data led, it's imperative for us to kind of make this part of our narrative, and as designers, we're always selling our designs. So it's important to just make sure that we know which metrics to sell today. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think it goes both ways. Like, you're not only relying on quantitative information, but qualitative information and seeing them coherently together instead of just relying on quant information or qual information.
Yes, yeah. That is, I think, one unique thing that designers have the most leverage than compared to any other, probably, any other function of the company. Like, the designers has the most leverage of like bringing it all together.
Yeah. And I also feel like as designers, we have built empathy so much because we always want to protect our customers that we get attracted to qualitative information more than quantitative information and still feel one-sided when we're trying to, prove our point in design. So you heard it from Akhil. So you have to think of both ends. You also mentioned about AI and that, that you've been dabbling with AI in different ways to create better efficiency and better, timing of releasing certain deliverables inside of Zepto. So let's say that AI takes over. Okay. How does someone like Akhil, a leader or a designer, ensure that they're still relevant?
Yeah, I think a lot of this comes down to some very, very core foundational things, I feel. I think as designers, we are somewhere in, like, just coming from the last point I said about metrics should be part of a narrative. And the same thing, we are the people who are building the narrative. Like, the designers are the people who are building the narrative around, okay, how will be the user journey, how it should be with the user, how should the user feel about this, and all of that. I think AI is great at probably generating those ideas for you, and maybe it'll generate millions of ideas. Yesterday you were doing only 2 ideas, but AI is now doing millions of ideas. But I think it falls on the designer to actually choose what is that narrative that they want to go ahead with, because it's not about just throwing ideas. It's also about taking it to the end, making that entire package come together.
Yeah.
I think so. The narrative of it, how it's stitched together, the critical thinking around all of that, how will it connect to the user? Because you as a designer would know the best around how will it connect to the user. I'll just give an example. I was doing a lot of research work when I was working for Insanely Good, and a bunch of my colleagues are also working on it. And we had to somehow collate all of this information and come with a vision for the company, a vision for the product that we're building. And we had so many ideas on the board, but it was our intuition that we had of interacting with the users, the conviction that we had, that helped us choose which ones to pick, and that will best represent user needs, intent of the business, how will it come together. I think that is still something that Akhil has to do, or someone like Akhil has to do. So I think that becomes very, very important, like stitching the narrative, that critical thinking, the human connect, the intuitiveness, the conviction, is still comes down to people like you and me, I think. Yeah.
So Akhil, you've built a pretty big team in a very short amount of time, which is like 7 months. Beyond skills, what's one human trait that makes a designer a must-hire for your team?
Yeah, I think it's probably hard to give one. Maybe I'll give 2. I think one is probably humility. I feel that that is important, because it's not like an easy place to be. You have to innovate every day. You have to tussle with a lot of people. We have to understand what is important and manage a lot of priorities together. So it's not easy to kind of work with so many priorities that are like going on together. I think that makes it very imperative for us to have people who can manage all of this, and also in a certain harmony. So I feel that humility that is required to kind of have a good connect with your team members, be it someone junior, be it senior, always. And the second one is always being curious, right? I mean, always be learning, always be curious, because the world around is changing.
Yeah.
I mean, the things that we used to do yesterday are not probably relevant today, right? So I think there's one person in my team who we felt was exceptionally talented. He said that we don't deserve this person. So she was exceptionally talented, and we still took her, and we said, I don't know how she'll fit in, because she knows stable diffusion, she knows Python, she knows all the AI tools out there, and she's quite young. And the kind of humility that she has, it's I think it's a testament to her character. I mean, she really carries that. She teaches things to other people, even though she's just a beginner, but she teaches things to other people. She's really good at what she does, and she's always curious about learning new things. So she started learning motion. She already knew a lot of things like stable diffusion, 3D, and all those things. I think all of that kind of gives a character of how this person, what are the traits that we're looking for in designers. Like, that curiosity is very important, that humility of working with so many competing priorities, and still working in harmony. All of that is important, because it's a little chaotic to kind of managing so many things. So that humility is very important. The curiosity of making sure that you're on top of game. I think that is very important.
I love them. I think curiosity is a huge part of Pineapple's core values also.
Yeah. Okay.
And I feel like, forget yesterday. I feel like what you know in an hour also has changed by the time the next hour is here.
Yeah.
So you have to stay curious in order to like every second keep up with different things. But it shouldn't feel like a burden. It should feel more like I want to know this. I want to solve this. And that is the fun
Yeah.
part, I guess, working with
Yeah.
team members who are just
Yeah.
really curious and they make you want to solve things along with them.
Yeah, and you'll notice that they always come to you with new ideas. They have done this, they have done that. Like that. Just that's like just contagious energy. Like,
Yeah.
For me, I mean, it just energizes me, inspires me, and everyone around. I think those are the right kind of people. I feel that will do just amazing.
Yeah. Working with
Anywhere
them
they
is
go,
fun.
not just Zepto.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. My next question is, if the product breaks today, what are three design signals you look at to understand why it failed?
Yeah, I think there's a common one that always comes to my mind is that when we set out doing this project or feature, what are the things that we had in our mind? What were the frameworks that we had in our mind? Just for example, if it was something to do with reordering, what was the framework that we had in mind? What are the guardrails that we set? Are we still kind of adhering to it, right? So it comes a lot to the jobs to be done. We call it JTBTs, which is to define them for each feature, each visit. So I think one of the things that we closely want to look into is that what the JTBTs that we started off doing are the same that we are adhering today, or are we changing it? Has it evolved to something else that we don't want it to be? I think that's a common mistake that a lot of people would make. So I think that is one. I think the other one is, are we really sweating those features out? Like, are we really optimizing it to the end, to the T, really, like really sweating them out in terms of, are we making sure, for example, if it's just a widget that shows best sellers on the app, like, are we really making sure the best inventory is there? Are we making sure all the stores have it? Is the connection of the inventory and the design and the stores and all of that working together? I think you have to look in. I mean, these are just a few aspects to check in, because this is what I look at from, at least from a design point of view, that is the experience stitching in together.
Yeah.
Is the JTBT stitching in together? Is the experience that we intended it to be stitching in together? I think if you look at that from a framework perspective, and then we can start to understand, okay, this is what is going on. Like, this is what we intended to do, but this is what's happening now because of XYZ reasons. We need to go back, or we need to like discontinue this widget. The risk of not adhering to the things that we intended it to be is that there is a chance that we'll have to discontinue a widget, like which is pretty sad, because you built it with a lot of love and care and everything. So you want it to win. So that is the second part of it, which I was saying, that like making it really sweat. So I think like really optimizing it, keeping a check on it, that I hope this is in line. The business teams know that this widget is this ranking, so they need to make sure the inventory is in place. The ops team, maybe they need to make sure something else is in place, etc., etc. The copy team need to make sure that the right copies are in place. So that entire optimization piece is also very important. I think those are the initial things I check, and then of course there's like a general deep dive into what's happening, what's not happening. But
Yeah. Which brings me to this question. When did you last ship something you weren't proud of, but still went ahead and did it?
I think that that's a tough one, because that happens more frequently than you want it to. I was sharing previously that a lot of the things that we're doing today are beautiful in a small picture. Maybe it's beautiful in this frame.
Yeah.
But how is it all coming together as a voice, as a tone? I think that is a journey that we're in today. I think so. Today we're doing a lot of hard work. We're doing a lot of, and it's giving us results. Make no mistake. Everything that we're doing is like doing a lot of good for the company. But there's this itch within you as a designer that, hey, okay, it's going here, it's going there. How do we bring it together? I think that is one part, as I shared earlier, that I'm constantly working on, spending a lot of time actually on some of those things. We have a couple of folks in our team who are like really good at certain things. One person is really good at colors. one person is really good at fonts. So we're putting in an action team together to kind of make sure that the next vision for the company, for the app, that's like that's really defined,
Yeah.
and that's not hindered with. So I think we're doing that work. So hopefully something very soon.
All right. So, okay, we have a rapid fire round for our podcast, and we have labeled it the chop chop.
Okay.
All right. So the very first question that I have for you, and we have to go really fast in this since it's a rapid fire.
Yeah.
Well learned from Karan Johar himself. But the first quick question is, what's the one product you wish you had designed or built?
Apple Music.
All right. First app you open every morning.
WhatsApp.
Oh my God. What is that one thing you still feel you haven't learned yet, even after being a leader?
People management.
I love that one.
Emotion management. Emotion management, I think.
Emotion management. What is one myth about the design industry that you'd like to debunk here today?
That design is about moving pixels. I think it's more about the entire experience.
Right. So, Akhil, that's it. That's the last question for our chop chop round that is there. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
Enjoyed interviewing you, and I'm sure that all our viewers are going to love this episode. And I hope to see you until next time.
Yes, looking forward, guys.